Melted butter and warm honey. Flour is such a great backpacking food. It's so light, non-perishable, and it just makes the most delicious things. Well, it's about 8:50 and we're starting to see some color in the sky. The sun's going to be up probably in the next 30 minutes or so.
Nice pace.
I'll tell you what, it was definitely below zero, and I stayed warm. My back's killing me, but I was warm. You know, I've tried out a lot of different survival shelters, and hands down, this is my favorite one if you're dealing with cold weather. If you're getting rained on or snowed on, or there's lots of wind, a lean-to might be better, but if you're just straight up trying to survive the cold, this is the best. The shelter isn't complicated. The key is just making sure you warm up the ground and warm up whatever's going to be behind you. The second key is to try to get your bed higher than the fire. Heat goes up, and so that if you're slightly elevated, you're going to catch a lot more of that fire's heat than if you were down on the ground with the fire. I think this shelter would work in even colder conditions than I got right now. Just make these rails longer, and then if you start to get cold in the middle of the night because that root ball has cooled off too much or the ground underneath you's cooled off too much, I would just take this fire and kick it underneath the bed, then scoot the bed over here and switch places with the fire. And you can just do that every couple hours and then constantly be above hot ground. I think if you had plenty of fuel and you just kept switching sides like that, you could probably last in like -20 or some really awful temperatures. You wouldn't get much sleep, but you would make it through the night. Well, this has been fun, but I think it's time to pack it up. All of a sudden, the spirit was freed. But a warm heart and blood on your hands. Let's turn down and get to the pack, shall we?
Good morning, guys. Just rocked up on this amazing island. We're going to be having the best time here for the next couple of days. But first, I'll show you something that I found.
Wow.
So this big female just finished laying her eggs. High tide. So all the feathers will come up the beak. And the next thing, this is amazing though. Look at all the crop. This is coming up here. There's hundreds of So turtle will play in this morning. So in a few months' time, all the baby hatchlings are going to be coming down here. Just look at all the turtles swimming back down. That is absolutely amazing, guys. We've just found nesting turtles. And if you guys didn't know, turtles always come back to the exact same beach that they were hatched on to lay their eggs. So they can be like 50, 60, 70, I don't actually know, but turtles are old as, and they come back to the same friggin' beach. Time for a swim. Are you joking? I got this whole place to myself. We're gonna have a bloody good time. We're gonna see some wildlife. Hey, buddy. Turtle Island. That's it, man. This is where we're spending the next couple of days. This is the big thing I was mentioning before. You've done what you need to do. You're almost there, sweetie. Yeah, you're so beautiful. She's absolutely exhausted. I'm not going to touch her. I want to interfere. Just let her do her thing. I know she's going to make it. She's got plenty of tide to get out off the reef before it all goes high and dry. But look at that. What an absolute epic. She would have crawled up here probably when it was still dark. It's been gone for hours. You're almost there, sweetie. She's off. She's got it. This is my pennies for the dinner plate. It's an awesome little thing. It weighs about 50 kilos. I've loaded it up with a little bit of gear for this trip. I've got absolutely no food, refrigeration, anything like that. So, up in the front here, safety gear, life jackets.
Plenty of turtle eggs to eat.
And that's my own cost. Still in this section, I've got cooking gear, wetsuit, towels, my body, pretty much just everything I need for cooking. This bag has got plenty gear in it. That's my drone, you know, go for that. And here's the batteries to last me for the trip. I've decided to bring two
And it's crazy how the remembrance test can be really old.
my weight belt, one jerry of fuel, and half the ocean. And the back of the kitty there.
Poop.
There's turtles absolutely everywhere. I've jumped back in the tinny because what I want to do is go for an explore. It's actually quite flat this morning.
Poop, poop,
And,
poop.
with all these big fire turtles around, I guarantee that we might be able to find a big tiger.
Fire's night. Should I have some of that?
No.
Should I have some of that for £1 million?
No.
What? Tiger shark?
Yeah, I would.
To me.
I think it is because it's not going to try and kill you. If it sees that you're certainly not something to eat.
Why not kill in Egypt? My tiger shark. In the video, I don't know.
Oh, there's so much happening right now. The boat is full of water. Got a drone in the air. There's like 2 or 3 big tiger sharks just here, and what they're doing is they're feeding on these turtles. So I think I'm going to try and whack my mask on, jump in with one, get back in the boat. I don't know if it's going to work. The drone's up, everything's happening. And it's been my dream to swim with a tiger shark. I've never done it before, so you never know. It's just a bit of moment.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are an eel.
Sam with it. Look at that water, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, it's literally blue. I wish I would look like that.
It's like flamber, innit?
Just grey and flamber. Not beautiful blue.
On a sunny day, it's quite nice.
That
Oh god, that's green.
the top is green. The bottom is like blue. It's really dark. So yeah, what do little kids colour the sea blue? Because the sea's blue, not green.
Pencil sharp rag on.
Really cool.
Oh, where is it? I just wanted to see it. I should have just freaking jumped. Just didn't want to die, you know? Man, I don't believe it. There was just way too much going on just then. I had the drone in the air. I'm trying to get a smooth shot. I'm trying to drive the tinny carefully, not to run over it, but get it real close. Got my mask on. I can't see crap out of the mask because it's got all water drops on it. The remote, there's electronics everywhere. The boat, for some reason, is just full of water. Hopefully not a hole. Yeah, we got all happening. But guys, when the shark was on the right-hand side of my boat, I don't know how good I got it on the drone, but it was as big as a boat. And this is a 3.4-meter boat. So that shark, 3 to 3.5 meter tiger shark. There were another two. There were turtles everywhere. After all that, I landed the drone. I put the mask on. I had the GoPro ready. He was right next to me. And then I took a wrong turn into the glare, and I lost him. I freaking lost him. We only got limited drone batteries, so how about this? We obviously have to pack our own food. Like, we have to swim with a tiger, and I'm not leaving the friggin' island until we jump in next to a big tiger. Oh, I hope that footage looked as hectic as it was, like, back when all that. Wow.
Why does it look so much white when it's in the drone, but then there it's like not as white? You know that looks so nice and white. But then now I'm on the thing, it's like my eyes. That's so beautiful. It doesn't look as white. Actually, no, now it does. No.
That fight is pumping out. So I think the tigers are all gone. The turtles are making their way out. Everything is getting out off the drop off the reef edge before that fire's completely gone. Actually, let me show you how hectic this is. So if we come just behind, look at that. So that's a turtle hole, turtle hole, turtle. It's actually the same. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, it just goes to show that it is not a patch of sand on this beach. That's not covered in turtle holes. It's everywhere. So I'm going to avoid walking over them. Definitely not stepping in the holes. This is our little slice of heaven for the next couple of days. I'm so excited to bring you guys along for this one. Pretty much just got to figure out how to get food for the next couple of days. And just so you
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are an eel. You have termites in your teeth. I wouldn't touch you with a 39-foot pole.
Boost the fresh feeling of comfort to the next level. Use the new Comfort Fabric Conditioner for up to 10 times more fragrance. New Comfort Depth Booster Elixir. Now back to next level fresh.
What is it?
It's called the plant grown for 30 years.
What in 15 years?
So, I'm back.
I don't know. That's so cool. What even is that? Oh, I'm joking.
Huggy, huggy.
Wow, he's walking.
Oh, that's what you're watching.
He's cool, watch it.
What's on the TV?
But no, it's for 15 years into it. 8 plus 1 year, so um, 15 years.
Oh, that's just this one. Model of the university. You get the one.
For a while.
I've gone last time ago. I've got it out.
Yeah, they did it downstairs.
That's in there, but I'd I already had some chicken and like, so you know my dinner that I took to work. I took a lot of it. That was left. And I'd eaten it before I went to the gym. And then I just come back and had I just had like a massive fruit bowl.
You're breathing.
That's not breathing in. I breathe it out.
You know when you breathe, you know when you breathe in, you guys supposed to go different breathing in. Because I was doing it the wrong way when I was breathing in. I would do it. And when I breathed out, I would do that.
Plus this isn't breathing in, Mum. That's not big one. That's tensing my abs. That's activating my abs.
I say them when they're in a picture. Just tensing the out. They don't actually look like that.
Yeah. Look, this is really big.
Right.
Got chills now. Check it out, because feel them. You feel them?
Like when we're wearing a false bra.
Yeah, so it says, when you do that, if you really want to do that, that's when you're tensing them. But because mine are that big, I should feel like they're going to cramp up because I'm really activating them. But I need to learn how to do my jeans.
And upside down like that. Relief, wasn't it?
My abs are literally that big from the calciums.
Doesn't matter, we can't get some tonic water.
I know they don't actually cramp, I'm just saying. I'm trying to learn how to fucking do vacuums and...
Do you even look? I need to show you that. That was so cool. What happened there? Put potato in. Sweet potato. And that goes out on it. And it does. You're gonna cut that, right? We're gonna cut that and put it in. You it in until they come out. And when it gets really long, you pull it out and put it in, and that's when it starts working. And that's just a warning. 1, 2, what is it? 2 then. And it calls you to clarify. It doesn't look like anything. But then when, you know, like, when it's just like, oh, it's like this, and then it just looks like it's doing nothing. And it just looks like the water just slowly going down, and it's just slowly going to it. I don't know. Like a worm.
Hey, some breeds.
You know what
I
I
don't know.
find weird is that if you need a pea to make a pea, then what came first, the plant that you plant and the pea?
Exactly, like the chicken and the egg.
Yeah, like the chicken egg and the frog and the what's it called?
Tadpole.
The tadpole.
Frog spawn. What came first? What do you reckon, Sampy? What do you think came first, the chicken or the egg? How's it been? Alright. First live for a while. I've not done any lives for a bit. Thought I'd do it, Mr. Grinch. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are an eel. Oh, my wife's suggestion. Do the Grinch. Here we are doing the Grinch. Have you seen the Grinch, Sampri, film? Or are you aware of the story? I've stopped doing Family Guy, not really. I did one a while ago, but I just haven't done any. I ain't done a lot lately. I ain't done a lot of arty stuff lately. Had a bit of a break from it. So I need to do a bit more. Simpsons one's the most popular, so I need to do another Simpsons.
That's what I always did, didn't I? Oh, so this eats inside the sea.
Not seeing the Grinch. The Grinch that stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be that his head wasn't screwed on just right, or that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all was the Grinch's heart was 2 sizes too small.
Colgate Max White Ultimate. Ultimate, you shine.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, the Grinch stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who's. Staring down with his sour Grinchy frown. At the warm lighted lights below in their town. Every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath, and they're hanging their stockings. He snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. I know just what I'll do, and the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. Why with this hat and this coat? Do the trick, I just look like Saint Nick.
We grew 2.5 hours. It took forever for the rest to come.
All the Grinch needed now was a reindeer. But something about reindeers are scarce. See you, Sam Prate. Hey? I need it in front of me. I can't remember all of it. It's been that long since I've read it.
There's a book literally in the room.
Muy bonito. Well, muy bonito to you too, mate. Right, got the Grinch book, we can read it. Every who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps his shoes were too tight, but I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who, staring down from his cave with a sour, gringy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging the mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his gringe fingers nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow he knew. All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early and they'd rush for their toys. And then oh the noise, 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 noise. That's the one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. Then the Who's would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least, and then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together. With Christmas bells ringing, they'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, 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 and the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop the whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with you now. I must stop Christmas from coming, but how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great gringy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeers were scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn to the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hooked up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up," and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. Their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Gringer Claus hissed, and he climbed on the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, and so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant. Around the whole room, and he took every present: pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorns and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who feast, he took the roast pudding, he took the Who beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I'll stuff up the tree. The Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shovel when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. It was little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a line, he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tots," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child. And he patted her head and he got her a drink and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with a cup, he went to the chimney and he stuffed the tree up. And the last little thing he took from the house was a log for the fire. Then he went to the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but some hooks and some wire. One little speck of food he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who mouses. It was dawn. All the Who was still abed, all the Who was still asnooze when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with the presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpets, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh the Who's, he was gringeously humming. They're finding out now that Christmas is not coming. They're just waking up. I know just what to do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. Then he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why this sound sounded merry? It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Hoovel. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every who down in Hoovel, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzle was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Hoovel, they say the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Fantastic. Great story. We'll finish this one off. And we're going to watch a Christmas film, I think. What we're watching, Bo? We're watching The Grinch.
Oh, surprise! Baby.
We're going to watch The Grinch. We're going to watch The Grinch. Yeah, let's have a look. This is looking good. The little highlights. The little highlights make all the difference. Really brings it to life. It looks great.
It looks so shiny.
Like pearls.
The Grinch looks all shiny.
Apples. Apples.
How did they do it?
So look. 30 days in that.
Kitchen roll germinator. Got this little stem. Root.
The Grinch. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are an eel.
How tall it is. Sunflower. I grow a sunflower.
The feeling when your knee surgery is tomorrow. Should be ready now, I need to run it. What will you draw next? Nothing today, I'm going to watch The Grinch. That's the plan. And draw something tomorrow. What would you like to draw? What should I draw tomorrow? Any suggestions? You're the mean one. Right. Just think of Tom and Jerry movie. Nutcracker Tale. Christmas reminds me of it. Tom and Jerry. I'll have a look tomorrow. We'll do that one tomorrow. Tom and Jerry. You're a mean one. Stuart. There you go. That is good. Gives me nostalgic vibes. Cheers, Devlin. Thank you. So, Tom and Jerry movie, Nutcracker Tale. I'll have to have a look at that. We'll do that one tomorrow. I'll just jot it down and then I won't forget.
Mum, is purple pink?
How the Grinch stole Christmas. Flick through my book in case you haven't seen any of the other stuff. Cheers, Ashley's channel. So I knew how to draw. So many ideas in mind but can't portray them. Just practice. All it is just practice, you'll get there. Do a little bit every day and you'll get better and better. Oh my god. No. Halloween stuff. Statue. Spider-Man. Does whatever the spider can. That's their father-in-law. And some deck. Jolly Father Christmas. Coffee people. Coffee. It's not loud that one, I'm not loud like it. Coffee drawings. More coffee people. And we've got what's his name? Trevor. Trevor Brighton. And the Grinch. Right, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.